So when I say we have 2 years to save the world, it begs the question, who exactly has 2 years to save the world? The answer is every person on this planet. We still have a chance to make greenhouse gas emissions tumble. Generation of national climate plans, but we need these stronger plans now.
Hello, back to Reforesting for Peace. We are in the session number 7. Welcome back to Reforesting for Peace, where we ignite change through the power of storytelling and the magic of filmmaking. In our previous sessions, dear Hannah, we laid the foundation and explored art, visual composition. We were already checking the post-production process, and today we embark in a new adventure with amazing speakers and mentors, and we will be delving, dear Hannah, into the process of leadership role in filmmaking and social media, because no matter how much we invest in equipment, how much we invest in doing the storytelling process, if you don't trust yourself in the process of being in front of the camera, it's super hard to do it. So welcome everyone to session number 7. I'm Agustin, and we will have Lujane that is right
Hi
here.
everyone.
Hi Luji.
So this is the last session. So this is the last time that you can ask all of your speakers for the questions and everything through the Mentimeter.
Meanwhile, the internet goes back in Egypt. We can continue. Don't forget. Wait. There you go. Luji.
Hi. I was saying that this is the last session, so this is also the last chance to ask questions to all of your speakers, and I hope you have fun asking them and learning from them through the Mentimeter.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. We are super excited.
Yeah.
Really
so
excited.
That's the Mentimeter. The code is 26363059, and you can also scan it from your phone, the QR code like that, and yeah. Make sure to ask questions to your speakers.
Mm-hmm.
Luji, are you sad that this is the last session, or is because you were having exams that you are?
No, I'm a little bit of both.
Okay. Hannah, back to you.
Yeah, no, it's a real pleasure to be here once again, and it's unbelievable that it's the last session. So I'm looking forward to this session and learn from all the amazing speakers and how we can reflect and learn from all of us. So we would like to say thank you for our partners.
Thank you to our beloved partners. Today is going to be a bit hard because our beloved project lead Irene is currently, Hannah, in Bonn attending the SBs from United Nations. Therefore, I will be also producing. So I have one screen here, my phone over here, the camera here. But this cannot stop us of saying thank you to CBA, the creative broadcast agency that is making this streaming possible, together with Youth in Green, Global, Mafil, Youth Climate Report, Alta Sea, and of course, Equi Interpreters. And when I see their logo there, I'm like, I need to speak slowly. So I'm also Prescon and Sankari Studios. Thank you, all of you, for making Reforesting for Peace possible. My name is Agustin Ocaña, and with me is...
Yes, and I am Hannah. And yeah, as you said with Irene, I know sometimes we see this, but there's so much work behind the scenes. So make sure we say thank you for all of those people that are behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely. It's so much effort. And how many languages do we have, Hannah?
Yes, so thanks to the in echo interpreters, we have English, Spanish, Portuguese, and French. So make sure you, in your email, you select the one that you feel more comfortable with, and we'll be so happy to provide the translation for you. And now let's not forget that we have rules of engagement, and this is our social media. Make sure you follow us. You can publish a story because this is a great way to amplify the voices and the positive change. So we have Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc.
Or everything that we can have. And because of all the social media, we can get in touch with this amazing team. Thank you, Luigi, Bianca in the social media, Hannah, and of course, Irene, including Shange, Chris, and the Eco Interpreters team. Thank you, all of you guys. It's really impressive to have you all. And so today's lineup, Hannah.
Yeah, so we're super excited because we have first Tokie Esaka, we have then Ala Abdelwa. Sorry, I sorry for mispronouncing your names, and we also have Gennaro.
Let's
Yes, exactly. Today we have Tokie Esaka, Ala, that is helping us because actually we were having Clara, but because of some logistic stuff, she cannot be here with us today. But we are really happy and supportive that we have Ala as well, an amazing TikToker. And now we can introduce
Tokie. Yeah,
Tokie.
it's my pleasure to introduce Tokie Esaka. She's a distinguished leader in the field of production, creation, and design, currently serving as the global product creation head at Walt Disney Company in Brazil, based in Sao Paulo since 2018. With a career spanning several decades, Toki has significantly contributed to a creative industry, holding the position of Regional PD Senior Manager at Walt Disney Company, Latin America since July 2015. Her journey in the creative realm began with roles of creative art director at SA Design in Sao Paulo. She has worked in Japan, and Toki Academy's background is rooted in architecture and urbanism, having studied at the prestigious University of Sao Paulo. Her extensive experience and academic foundation have enabled her to excel in creative, innovative products and managing creative teams, making her a pivotal figure in the global creative industry. So, thank you so much for being here, Toki. We're so excited to learn from you.
Hi, everybody. It's a very honor to be here with you guys. I will share my screen to share my presentation. I hope everything goes well.
Yeah, hi Toki, just give me a second. We are here with
Okay.
your presentation. Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, Toki, your presentation is right here, so feel free, ready to go. Thank you.
Okay. Could you hear my presentation? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So again, hello everyone. It's an honor to be here with you. Such an incredible young leaders make the difference in the world. So today we'll talk a little bit about leadership in creativity and the power of storytelling. Well, my name is Toki. I'm a Japanese descent Brazilian. I'm 56 years old. As mentioned by the guys, I have degree in architecture, urbanism, and design, and today I work in the field of multidisciplinary strategic design. I'm passionate about the art of imagining, planning, and design. I have the privilege of leading and representing 74 product designers spread across 11 countries: Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Panama, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Bolivia, and representing our region in a very talented and collaborative global creative community at the Walt Disney Company. Well, I'd like to start my presentation by reflecting on the meaning of the word creativity. Often, creativity is associated with the arts such as painting, music, film, photography, design. But actually, creativity has a much more broader meaning. Creativity is the ability to generate new ideas, think beyond the box, and approach problems from unique perspectives. In the context of solving social challenges, creativity plays a crucial role in developing innovative and effective solutions. By embracing creativity, we can develop impactful interventions and bring positive and lasting social change. As you know, during the pandemic, changes accelerated, and Silicon Valley defined the new road as bunny, a brittle, anxious, nonlinear, and incomprehensive moment. Until recently, knowledge was a fixed idea, and knowing meant accumulating information and memorizing data. Education was based on the act of transmitting knowledge. Learning has taken a new meaning, no longer about the quantity of information, but about the deciphering new paradigms. Well, questioning became fundamental. Today, more than ever, learning to respond is a skill of artificial intelligence. Learning to ask is a human skill. It's necessary to learn to reflect, formulate ideas, question, and know where to look for answers to grow intellectually. In today's fast and unstable world, answers are varied and dated. Thus, maintaining curiosity, being acquisitive, and learning to ask the right questions is a constant exercise in updating knowledge. This gave rise to the term learnability, which the capacity to learn, being constantly open to learning and producing knowledge. Alvin Toffler, writer and futurist, used to say, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Well, in modern times, creative leaders have the role of helping teams formulating questions, bring up insecurities, and identify unseen problems to look beyond the obvious and root problems that need addressing, see the problems from others' perspectives, and recognizing challenges that might be overlooked by conventional approaches. Creative leaders generate innovative solutions, encouraging unconventional and original ideas. This is vital in tracking social issues that persist despite traditional solutions and involve rethinking existing systems and processes. Creative leaders enhance engagement and participation, making social initiatives more engaging and appealing to the public, encouraging more people to get involved. Creativity empowers communities to come up with their own solutions, ensuring that interventions are culturally relevant and sustainable. Creativity can optimize resources, involving using available resources in new ways to achieve maximum impact and also lead to cost-effective solutions that require fewer resources, making them more reasonable and scalable. Creative leaders come up with sustainable solutions, ensuring that the benefits of the interventions continue over time. This might involve eco-friendly practices and self-sustainable community projects. Creativity can adapt solutions, allowing them to modify it and apply it to different contexts and environments. Creative leaders support communities to break down barriers, open up new possibilities, and encourage a shift in mindset. Creative initiatives bridge gaps between different groups, fostering collaboration and understanding. Creative leaders also encourage resilience. Creative problem solving fosters resilience by encouraging flexible and adaptable thinking. Communities equipped with creative skills can better adapt to changes and recover from setbacks. Creativity empowers individuals and communities to take charge of their own development, fostering a sense of ownership and control over their futures. Creative leaders think big, as you guys do at the Global Youth Coalition. Actually, you have a very clear mission and vision, building capacities, creating networks, and fostering collaborations that can advocate for necessary climate policies to empower youth-led movements. And also powerful values, creating a culture of inclusion, empowerment, and collaboration that will drive meaningful change in the fight against the climate change. The world needs young leaders like you, creative, passionate, happy, and confident, willing to challenge the status quo and stand up for your convictions. This is how two companies, Intercorp, a Peruvian holding, and IDEO, a global design company, have been working together to rethink how they can make a difference in the lives of Peruvians. Let's watch a video to learn what they are doing for Peru.
And we feel that we have a responsibility and we have the opportunity and we have the talent to really push this country forward. What IDEO and Intercorp have worked together on is to really reframe the possibilities that this country has.
Carlos Rodriguez Pastor reached out to us at IDEO to help design a school system for Peru that would be international quality and affordable for the emerging middle class. I'll never forget that time because we had never designed a school system before, but the good thing is that we have a creative process and we dove into it together.
En mi colegio anterior me sentía algo aburrida porque no me sentía retada. Los profesores no se preocupaban tanto por lo que avanzabas, no te tenían mucha paciencia, solo decían dicta tal, dicta tal.
Perú nunca va a ser un país sostenible en el largo plazo si no transformamos la educación. Nuestro objetivo siempre fue que seamos una de las mejores experiencias educativas del mundo, que sea accesible a las familias de clase media emergente en el Perú. Tenemos que enseñarle a nuestros alumnos que en la vida casi nada es imposible. Cada vez tenemos un mayor número de alumnos en el extranjero que se van becados con becas como la que ha tenido Lely Espinosa.
I found out about Innove Schools thanks to my dad. In one of his taxi rides, he saw this school and he was, okay, we need a translator from all my passengers from the airport. Let's send Leslie there to be that translator. And that's how I end up at Innove Schools, which really prepared me to what I can bring to the world and what the world also can bring to me. I decided to come to Stanford. I want to bring all this technology and this world-class knowledge that I'm receiving here to my people in my country.
De un hombre analfabeto que vaya a heredar a esa nación una nieta, para mí es un tremendo orgullo.
En el proyecto de Innova quedó clarísimo que el proceso de diseño traía mucho valor. Entonces con Carlos en ese momento nos preguntamos, oye, ¿por qué no podemos montar un laboratorio de innovación, una versión local de IDEO aquí en Perú, que pueda hacer este mismo proceso para todos los negocios que tenemos en el grupo? Y que además pueda especializarse y entender a fondo la familia de clase media peruana, que es justamente para quien nosotros diseñamos en el grupo Intercorp. Así fue como nace la Victoria Lab. La Victoria Lab es un espacio donde constantemente imaginamos futuros posibles para las empresas del Grupo Intercorp. Y lo hacemos mediante herramientas de diseño como experimentación, looking out, inspiración. Y trabajamos siempre con proyectos icónicos y que justamente pueden volver estos futuros mucho más tangibles para inspirar a todos los líderes del Grupo Intercorp.
Nos dimos cuenta con las familias cómo toman decisiones, cómo se divierten. Entonces allí empezamos a cambiar lo que era el proceso de diseño, llevando a la familia al centro, y eso influenció cómo diseñamos las escuelas, hospitales también, pero también desde un punto de vista de lo que pueden ser las experiencias en el cine o lo que pueden ser experiencias lúdicas o de cualquier otro tipo.
El sistema de salud en el país tiene por lo menos 40 o 50 años de retraso. Es un sistema aterrador para la madre que no conoce nada de lo que va a pasar, que está sola. Nace tu bebé y se lo llevan. Fuerza al paciente a adecuarse al sistema de salud.
Cuando estuvimos diseñando las clínicas Aviva, me acuerdo que en un taxi nos dimos cuenta de que el momento en el que la familia peruana realmente se interesa por su salud es cuando tienen a su primer hijo. Ese insight que salió en la investigación hizo que diseñemos toda la cadena de clínicas basados en la maternidad.
Desde que llegué me sentí como una mamita especial porque es lo que te hacen sentir. Es súper personalizado, más rápido, más eficiente. Y los doctores que están ahí te hacen sentir confianza.
Lo que tuvimos que hacer fue repensarlo todo y empezó este viaje increíble con IDEO y con la Victoria Lab. Creamos lo que sería un consultorio ideal o un flujo clínico ideal y los descubrimientos de esto fueron increíbles. Creamos la clínica con todos los conocimientos que habíamos traído de este proceso de Design Thinking. Fue absolutamente mind-blowing. Las mamás de familias medio emergentes que han dado a luz con nosotros en Clínica Viva han tenido una experiencia igual o mucho mejor de la que podrían encontrar en cualquier país desarrollado.
este journey de IDEO con el grupo es cómo ha ido cambiando el mindset de los líderes, de los ejecutivos y en general de todo Intercorp, y sobre eso tomar decisiones hoy.
Antes lanzábamos productos al mercado que pensábamos que iban a funcionar. Y ahora hay un apetito por entender qué necesitan los usuarios antes de hacer eso. Sabemos que la experimentación del fracaso es parte del crecimiento que necesitamos hacia adelante.
Tú te das cuenta realmente que formas parte de un cambio. En este Promar 2.0, junto con la Victoria y con IDEO, estamos trabajando mucho en la escucha activa. Necesitamos escuchar mucho al usuario, entenderlo, conocerlo y realmente poder capturar qué es lo que sentía al estar con nosotros.
Ellos son nuestra razón de ser, ¿no? Por ellos estamos acá y gracias a ellos es que vamos a seguir existiendo en el futuro, ¿no?
Ahora, a través de las soluciones digitales que estamos creando, nos hemos podido acercar mucho más a los pequeños emprendedores.
Ahora entro a los proyectos pensando, oye, sí lo podemos hacer, o en todo caso me hago la pregunta, oye, ¿cómo hago que esto sea posible?
El liderazgo que tradicionalmente se veía en Interbank era más de arriba hacia abajo. Hoy día ese liderazgo está cambiando para recibir información de abajo hacia arriba y eso modela tu accionar en el día a día, ¿no?
Trabajamos juntos un poco con esta gran idea de construir esta empresa, este grupo empresarial próspero en un país próspero como una idea de futuro, algo que se puede construir durante décadas.
Una sola idea, un insight que sea muy poderoso, puede cambiar por completo el futuro de tu organización, de tu equipo, de tu país.
It's not just about kind of a client service interaction. It's more about a partnership, a thought partnership, who learn together and grow together and support each other.
Intercorp today, 10 years after our great relationship with IDEO, is a totally different company. I think we are a much more customer-centric company. I think we have more empathy. I think we're more creative. We want to become the best place to raise a family in Latin America. I think that's achievable within the next 10 years. It's really up to us.
Was how creative process can identify unseen problems, generate innovative solutions, optimize those resources, creative sustainable solutions, breaking down barriers, and encourage resilience. As we could watch together, IDEO and Intercorp's partnership has been impacted not only the corporation, but transforming Peruvian lives as a whole through user-focused actions, delivering the mission to make Peru the best place to raise a family. Stories like Leslie Espinosa help us to understand the power of the storytelling. Storytelling is one of the most powerful tools to reach and impact a wider audience to enhance engagement and participation.
Hi,
Leslie,
Tokie.
who
Sorry
appears
to
in-
interrupt you for 1 second. Could you please share your slides? We cannot
Oh,
see your
sorry.
slides now
Not sharing?
because we
Oh,
were seeing
sorry,
the video.
sorry.
Don't worry,
Oh, sorry.
we are all like really diving with you. So,
Sorry.
we're making it more easier. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you. Thank you so much.
No, sorry. Are you seeing my screen?
Great. Now it's perfect. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I think when you talk about this project, I think we can see how creative process can identify unseen problems, generate innovative solutions, optimize resources, create sustainable solutions, break down barriers, and also encourage resilience. So As we work together, ideas and Intercorp's partnership has been impacting not only the corporation, but transforming Peruvians' lives as a whole, through user-focused actions, delivering the missions to make Peru the best place to raise a family. Stories like Leslie Espinosa help us to understand the power of the storytelling. Storytelling is one of the most powerful tools to reach and impact a wider audience to enhance engagement and participation. Leslie, who appears in the video, daughter of a taxi driver with an illiterate grandfather, became a biomedical engineering scientist and educator at Stanford University. And we can feel the power of storytelling in this beautiful commercial created by a Thai insurance company called Unsung Hero. Let's take a look.
Talent to what IDEO and Intercorp have worked together on is to really reframe the possibilities that this country has.
Carlos Rodriguez Pastor reached out to us at IDEO to help design a school system for Peru that would be international quality and affordable for the emerging middle class. I'll never forget that time because we had never designed a school system before, but the good thing is that we have a creative process and we dove into it together.
En mi colegio anterior me sentía algo aburrida porque no me sentía retada. Los profesores no se preocupaban tanto por lo que avanzabas, no te tenían mucha paciencia, solo decían dicta tal, dicta tal.
Perú nunca va a ser un país sostenible en el largo plazo si no transformamos la educación. Nuestro objetivo siempre fue que seamos una de las mejores experiencias educativas del mundo, que sea accesible a las familias de clase media emergente en el Perú. Tenemos que enseñarle a nuestros alumnos que
เขาจะได้อะไรถ้าเขาทำแบบนี้ทุกวันเขาจะไม่ได้อะไรเลยไม่ได้รวยขึ้นไม่ได้ออกทีวีไม่มีใครรู้จักไม่ได้มีชื่อเสียงที่มากขึ้น ราะสิ่งที่เขาได้คือได้แค่ความรู้สึกได้เห็นความสุขได้เข้าใจได้ความรักได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้ได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิมในชีวิตคุณอะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
ไทยประกันชีวิตเชื่อในความดี
Wow, this is a very heartwarming commercial. I love it. This is a sequence that you can get in the YouTube as well. Could you see my screen? I think so. So
yes, Tokie,
let's go.
He's right there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, but what makes this commercial so special? This commercial shows us the impact of leading with passion and inspire with action. When we enter the story of this anonymous hero, we reflect our own image and likeness. What he does is receive our emotion. He witnesses happiness. He feels the love and show that anyone can make a difference from make the world more beautiful. Storytelling is an artistic expression and the most democratic form of human creativity manifestation, as we could see with this unsung hero's story. When we hear from active listening and understand each other's stories, a sense of compassion emerges, and we acquire the ability to put ourselves in others' shoes. The brain understands information better when it formats stories, but from an early age, it started to decode the world through stories. Well, a story only gains power and becomes relevant when it touches the heart and makes sense to the listener. This is active listening. For this to happen, we need not only to learn to tell stories, but also to learn to listen, to create connections and understand how stories can become relevant to their listener. When we understand the story lived by the protagonist, we started to tap into the true meaning of the word empathy. Empathy makes us see beyond stereotypes, races, or creeds, seeing others for who they are without labels. So let's watch a sizzle called Reimagine Tomorrow by the Walt Disney Company.
What is this?
Watch it.
She's black.
Wait.
She's black.
Oh my.
Wish I could be her skin.
What about her skin?
She doesn't like mine.
It is.
She's brown like me, Mom.
What, baby?
She's brown like me.
Yeah, she's brown like you.
Yay!
We can understand how an story can impact the life of everyone's life. So how do we change how we see? This was the concept of reinterpretation the animation The Little Mermaid, played by the Black actress Halle Bailey. In this video, Black girls see themselves as a protagonist through Black Ariel, and this creates a sense of belonging. And last but not least, I want to finish my presentation by showing a beautiful campaign, a beautiful storytelling called Love Has No Labels. Love Has No Labels is a movement to promote acceptance and inclusion for all people across race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, age, and disability. So let's take a look.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
My heart doesn't see race. Love has no age limit.
We are neighbors and best friends.
We all have different religions, but we have universal love as well.
I love my sister.
Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
This is so beautiful, this video. Every time I see, I become emotive. But well, as we could see by all the video that we just watched, creativity associated with storytelling is a powerful tool to make the difference in the world. And don't forget, you creative leaders are the protagonists of this change. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tokie. Thank you so much. That was so precious. There's so much to reflect, and I love the label, like love has no labels. So let's spread that, and yeah, Agustin, do you have something to say?
No, first of all, I want to thank you for you guys and say that you are making the difference. So I want to thank you guys to believe and to go beyond, and thanks to be with you guys here.
Tokie, thank you, because honestly, it makes me so happy having the chance to spread this kind of content into the planet, into the youngsters, intergenerational. You guys go and talk about your friends about this concept, because right now what we need is love, and love has not labels. We are all here in this planet that is floating in the universe. So thank you so much, Tokie. That was really impressive and powerful. We were having so expectations of you having you here, and now I'm really happy that we had all this time waiting for you. And yeah, it was an amazing presentation. Let's keep going. So, but first, before that, dear Tokie, let me bring.
Hi, Tokie. I'm Lucy. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? So I just want to say, that was absolutely amazing. Like the way that you showed us that storytelling, like putting emotion into it, it's not a vulnerability, it's a strength. So that was really, really great. So thank you so much for that.
No, thank you, guys.
Okay, so we actually have some questions for you from the audience. So I'm going to read them out to you and then you can answer. So the first question that we have is, what do you think the GYC contributes to youth?
A lot, because I think when I saw young leaders, one thing that I always say, and I love this phrase that I put in my presentation, that we have to learn and learn, and we learn every time. I think the young leaders are the ones that have the creativity and innovation in their minds. So you have all to change the road, change the status quo, and make the difference in this world. So I'm very, very proud to be here and to learn with you guys.
Thank you so much. We're so proud to have you. So the second question is, what's your favorite area of filmmaking and why? I think here we can kind of merge filmmaking and storytelling. So tell us, what's your favorite thing about those two?
Actually, I love to be a backstage person because I love to see what is involved in making a film, right? So it's so many talented people, talented groups working together in a collaborative way. So all this process makes me not only happy, but I think it's my energy. It's the energy that I always try to get from young leaders.
It's kind of like a kitchen backstage. So everything gets made there and then put it forward.
Yeah, I love to read the synopsis, the scripts, when the idea becomes a script, when it starts to edit an idea, when the idea starts to bloom. It's like a dream come true. Like, wow, some words on a paper, on an email, when it comes a true story, a film, it's really, really, really emotive. I
The
really
way
like
that you're
to.
talking about it, like that makes me excited to go and see what happens like behind the scenes because you're really passionate about that. So
Yeah. It's
great.
amazing, and there are so many talented people involved in each film that it's amazing.
So the next question is, how do you make an emotional connection with the audience?
I think first of all, telling the truth, telling what you believe and telling the truth. I think when you tell a story that you really believe in, a
Yeah.
true story, they engage us, like all the story we see here, the Leslie Spinoza story that she was she's a Peruvian that she's studying in Stanford University right now, uh, um, uh, or even when you see the commercial of the unsung hero, we can see as one of these hero, and we can see that we can make the difference in the world. So I think um, uh, first is tell this three stories and make being transparent and be passionate.
Be passionate? Okay, then. I just want to tell you, Tokie, that you have such a lovely soul. Like, we can feel the warmth, the whole team. Like, we're talking now,
Oh,
and
thank
I
you.
just feel your warmth. So, like,
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
the
I,
next
I,
question we
I was
have,
about to cry some minutes ago. Sorry, I need to share. I was like, no.
and it's hard to get
Oh,
Augustin to cry these days. So, yeah. Okay, so the next
thank you.
question we have is, how do we measure creativity and evaluate how your creative skills have improved? So I think what this person is asking is like, what's the key performance indicator for measuring like creativity?
Actually, when we talk about design thinking, I think we are talking about failure as well. So to be open to fail, it's important, because if you want to always try to be right or to do the right thing, you're not innovating at all. So I think much more than measurement, I think it's to be passionate and to believe what you're doing. So when you believe what you are doing, everything can become possible. So I think little ideas is much more impactful many times than big ideas that we don't know how we can start. So I think
So
I will
not
I
always
wouldn't
going
think
big.
about I wouldn't think about measurement and evaluation. I think keep going, keep going, fly, test, fail, and I think that's the best way to learn every time you try.
To not analyze it, but to kind of like just go with your gut feeling.
Exactly.
Okay. For the next question, we have someone who's asking, what's your favorite example of expressive storytelling?
There's so many. I think I actually working in this filmmaking in Disney, I learned that every story has an expression. It depends on the listener, how
Yeah.
impact the listener. So it's not, for example, for me, sometimes I'm emotive, so I want to see a more emotive film. But sometimes I need energy, so I want to see a film that give me guts and give me strength to go and to fight. So I think it depends on the moment, in the moment of the listener.
That resonates really, really well because I do feel like sometimes I'm just not in the mood for a certain movie, or I want to like gain something from what I'm watching, like in terms of emotions. So I think that resonates really well. The next thing is, how can we make a difference when we lack equipment? Do you have any suggestions? How can we start? So if someone doesn't have the best like filmmaking equipment, maybe not a good camera resolution, how do they create something that's worth watching?
I think when you have a story to tell and the story is impactful, I think the equipment or the technique, it's only a tool to tell this story. So I think, first of all, you have to believe in your story and independent of your equipment. And I know that sometimes we seek for better equipment, technology, but there are many times that we don't need so many technology. And I think it's how we tell your story. It's most important than the equipment.
That's actually a good way to think of it. Like, it's not always about materialistic things, but it's more about the message that you're trying to send.
Exactly.
We have 2 more questions. So someone's saying that they love to be backstage too, and they help their friends with free edition programs. What programs do you use? I think they're talking about like editing.
Okay. Actually, I think I'm in a position of I don't use so many equipment, softwares, programs. I edit myself my personal video, but I don't edit for in a professional way. So I have my team editing for me. And the ones that I know that we use a lot of Mac, but iMovies for like simple videos. And for sure, when you're talking about animation, pixel animation, it's another kind of program. But I think any program can be used, and any program can be good when you have a story to tell.
I love your energy and like how you're not focused on anything materialistic. You're focused on the person and the message that they want to tell and the story that they want to tell. Like, it's refreshing to see someone with that perspective, because you don't get that much.
Thank you.
The last question is, do you recognize similarities between your culture and Latinos?
Brazilian culture?
Yeah, I think they're asking.
Yeah, so actually I'm a Brazilian, I'm based in Brazil, and I worked with a Latin community, so I have teams spread in Latin America. And one of the things I love of my team and working in collaboration with my team is that everybody has we have similarities like vision, mission, or even passion or dreams, but we respect the culture of every country. So everyone has their own way of see the world. Sometimes culturally it's different from me, for example, but I think it's the same message we see in this video. Love has no labels. I think we have to listen and we have to embrace all the cultures to be empathic with everyone.
Thank you so much, Tokie. Like, I feel like you've given us like this, you've recharged us. You've given us a lot of energy to just go out there and continue.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so refreshing. Thank you so much.
No, thank you guys. Thank you. And it was a very pleasure to be here and an honor. So keep fighting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, girls. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, wait, I can do
Cool.
that.
Like she got like
Just no,
something. No?
just to.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Luigi. Now, well, it's my pleasure to introduce the next speaker. So, Agustin, if you can help me to put the slides. But now I'm gonna introduce to Ala Abdelgawal. Please correct me how to pronounce your name. It's a pleasure to have you here. So, Ala is a freshly graduate clinical pharmacist and was also the MENA Region Youth Ambassador in the Connecting Climate Meets program. She is current member of the EG Youth for Climate Advisor Committee and an active climate change and mental health advocate within the community. Thank you so much for being here, Ala. As well, for the audience, make sure you...
So when I say we have 2 years to save the world, it begs the question, who exactly has 2 years to save?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Ale Abdelgawed. I hope you can hear me. Today, I'll be giving you a little bit of a talk about stuff that I'm really, really passionate about. And, all right, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So I'll put up the slides so this makes a lot more sense. Okay. Okay. All right. Can you guys see the slides on here?
Not yet, but are you uploading them?
No. 1 second.
Or are you sharing them?
Yeah, I'm trying to upload the file right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
so when I say we have 2 years to save the world, it begs the question, who exactly has 2 years to save?
All right, it's uploading. It's taking so long.
Okay, no, you're good. And thank you for joining us today. We're super excited to hear.
I'm excited too. This is a really interesting experience for me. Thank you for having me. I'm almost done. Okay.
You're good. You're good. Agustin, I think your
I'm
Wi-Fi...
muted. Sorry. Ala, can you help us? How do we pronounce your last name correctly?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. It's Abdelgawed.
Okay.
Abdelgawed?
Abdelgawed. Yeah.
Abdelgawed. Thank you.
Abdelgawed. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think you can see the slides now. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Like I said, I'm Ala Abdelgawed. I am a clinical pharmacist from Egypt, and I was so lucky to be the MENA Region Youth Ambassador in the Connected Climate Minds program with Imperial College London, and funded by the Wellcome Trust Fund. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the climate and mind. So we're going to be talking about climate change and mental health with a little bit of a twist towards the end. So for today's talk, I just want to give you guys a little bit of an agenda. I want us to define what mental health is in a clinical and the non-clinical context. I think that's going to give us a lot better of an outlook on what to say when someone asks what mental health is. I want us to understand how the climate intertwines with mental health in things that we may see around this and things that we do not. I want us to understand the present solutions and interventions that we have and that we can work with to try and make them better and use them better, and then things that we need to do and the way forward. So what really is mental health? I'll start by saying in a clinical context, since that's what I do. It refers to the sciences of psychology and psychiatry. And they were both established primarily to understand how the mind works and what actually affects the mind and what causes a normal mind to deviate to becoming a sick mind or an ill mind, and how to fix this deviation. The mind is so unique because it is affected by both internal and external factors, as opposed to almost the rest of the body. The internal factors are like things that you are essentially born with, so like the anatomy of the mind itself and the physiology of it, any abnormalities that you have that are genetic or family history. And the external factors are, say, the living circumstances, the economy, let's say housing, let's say things that we have to deal with every day, any traumas, any past experiences that are difficult for the person, the nutrition. And now that we know, the climate itself and the weather patterns actually do affect the mind as well. So that's for the clinical context. For the non-clinical context, let's talk as if we don't know anything about medicine, and it's just how stable a person's mental status is. So are they in a good mental state or not? How happy they are, how sad they are, what troubles them, and what brings them joy. And in this context, we can see climate change and the way that it affects the mind in a much easier context. So if there are more happy things that would make a person happy around them, then that should mean that a person should be happy. And the more that there are sad things around a certain person, you're expecting them to be a lot sadder. So with climate change, if someone has to wake up every day to their car drenched and their house is drenched and there's an enormous flood or a hurricane and it's happening more often, you would expect that person to be a lot sadder than the person that is not affected at all. This context is also important as for understanding. It gives us a lot of sophisticated version. Like I said, it's just an easier way to assess a person's mental status with the things going around them, if that makes any sense. When we think of climate and we try to relate it to mental health, we automatically think of climate disasters. So like I said, a flood or a hurricane or a typhoon. They are clinically what we call a trauma. So if something does happen in the climate around a certain person, their housing is involved, their food is involved, the way that they live their life is affected, and that is a trauma to them. And when it is a climate-related trauma, it affects the entire population because it takes over a large number, a large space of land. So it doesn't just affect one person. Literature and the scientific community has been waking up to the fact that climate change is affecting mental health in ways that we would normally understand, but we wouldn't focus to them as to being like climate-related mental health issues. Literature has been published, and I love putting on this slide like the pieces of literature that talk about this if anyone wants to check them out. But essentially, all of them agree that there is an increasing risk of anxiety, and what we now have termed as climate anxiety, which is fear of the future due to climate change. If we know what climate change is, then I think a lot more people are realizing what it actually is, and so many people are talking about it. That creates a sense of anxiety of, okay, but what next? Like, if today is really, really hot and it is insanely hot where I am, how bad is it going to be tomorrow? That is what we call climate anxiety, and it has its own term. But it also causes post-traumatic stress disorder, which is, a stress disorder that comes from remembering past trauma, and it has come to people that have dealt with extreme climate issues and climate disasters. So while the scientific community is waking up to that, there is a hidden aspect. Everything I've talked about so far is related to people who are not mentally ill already and people who have experienced something traumatic due to climate change. But what about those that are actually mentally ill and seeking treatment? Are they free of that climate-related mental health issues risk? Not at all. A lot more literature has been published in the last few years, and when I was still a student, I read a piece of literature that said that people that take antidepressants are more prone to dehydration and heat strokes. And it got me thinking, it's already getting a lot hotter. That means it's even more dangerous for people that are going through mental health issues to deal with this insanely rising temperature. And it has been found through many clinical studies that people that take any psychiatric medications, so antidepressants, antipsychotics, anti-anxiety medications, which a lot of people actually do take nowadays because it is a difficult world, are more prone to health conditions that other people that aren't taking these medications wouldn't be prone to on a normal hot day. And it is generally advised that people that are on these medications, please don't go out into the sun and try to avoid the heat as much as possible. And that is scary because people that are already going through mental health issues are now more vulnerable due to climate change as well. And to summarize all of this, we have our climate hazards. We have our forest fires, the dehydration, the famine, the floods, the hurricanes, the raining pattern changes, all of that. We have those, and then these things, they cause two things. They cause vulnerability to a certain of the prior illness, or vulnerability due to their gender, due to their age, or any inequities, or any occupation. And they cause people to be exposed to injury or displacement, job loss, and observing like negative impacts to their entire life. These two things increase the risk of mental health, increase mental health risks. They increase the prevalence or the number of mental illnesses such as PTSD, depression, and increasing suicide rates. And there are increasing suicide rates in farmers and fishers due to the climate change impact of the abnormal rain patterns and the overfishing and the loss of biodiversity. And that's been leading to an increasing amount of suicide. And also puts these people under a reduced well-being due to the stress that they have going on with everything changing around them. And like I said, climate anxiety. We already have some solutions that we can work with on the ground. What are these? We have mental health centers everywhere. Where there's healthcare, there is mental health centers that are equipped to deliver mental health care, but would need to be aware of the fact that climate change should be considered in treatment, whether it be with the pharmacological treatment or with therapy, as well as addressing certain patients. We have specialized professionals that are already educated on the fact that is climate-related mental health issues, and that can deliver the best quality of care in this context. And we also have climate advocates and mental health advocates that are aware of these connections and that have been doing an amazing job at raising these issues to decision makers and policymakers. And I was proud to be part of it with the Connected Climate Minds team, which essentially, if you would love to go check out the platform, it's amazing. There's policy recommendations and there's research recommendations for climate-related mental health issues. And we need more work like this. The way forward is for us to have more clinical research to better understand like these specific climate-related mental health issues and how they arise and how best we can avoid them. We need more healthcare professionals that are aware of these interlinkages in order to deliver the best treatment protocols. If they are aware of everything that is causing a certain person to feel a certain way and that climate is a part of it, they will be able to address it a lot better than someone that doesn't. We need more awareness of this issue and we need more normalization of climate-related mental health issues. We need it to be normal for someone to be anxious and to be scared of a certain climate hazard. We need it to be known that it's okay if someone's just gone through a climate disaster for them to be having post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms, or to be anxious, or to be, not in their best self because something enormous just happened. On a larger scale, we need more formal recognition of the climate-related mental health impacts. We need it to be written in diagnosis protocols such as the DSM. We need it to be acknowledged by pharmaceutical companies when they're writing their little pamphlets that please be aware of an increasing temperature when you're taking this medication. Don't go out in the sun or anything like that. And in this context of climate-related mental health issues, we need more work. And everything I've just said is just the beginning, and we need way more work, way more advocacy. And in this case, every single person is watching me right now. You've got the power. I've got the Instagram and the TikTok logos on here for a reason. and that every single person, no matter how big your platform is, even if you have like 2 followers, a simple post or a reel or a TikTok or whatever social media platform that you do use has a much bigger impact, and it's just a simple click. You can make a much bigger difference than you know. And I feel like when people think of initiatives and trends or anything like that, they usually think it's such a big deal to do and I need like 10,000 people to make it happen. You really don't. And a simple initiative can just be started from a single hashtag or a single post, and it catches fire and suddenly everyone's talking about it. And that's the beauty and that's the power of social media. There is no limits to how big you can go. There is no limits how creative that you can be if you're passionate about this issue or if you're passionate about anything in the world. A single post or a single reel or a single piece of text, a tweet, whatever it may be, is so powerful, and you do not know what big of an impact that you can achieve with these tools in using minimum effort. Let's say it does not take much effort to make an amazing difference in advocating for something like climate-related mental health issues. And with that, I hope that you enjoyed it. And thank you all so much for listening. And yeah.
Thank you. Like, oh my God, that was amazing. And so happy to have my best friend on our session.
Thank you.
Okay, so we actually have some questions for you from the audience.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to read them out to you and then you can answer. So someone's asking, you mentioned that you're a pharmacist. Do you think it's better to overcome mental health issues with medicine or without? So you're giving
It's a really technical question.
very technical.
Just because I'm a pharmacist does not mean I will recommend medications to everyone, but it really does depend on a person's mental status. And mental health issues is such a broad term. Like it goes down from a behavioral issue or like an overthinking issue to like a very serious disorder. What I would say is the person that can determine whether a person needs medication or not is a mental health professional, such as a psychologist or a psychiatrist. They are the only ones that tell you, okay, no, you need to go on a certain medication, or no, we can do psychotherapy and it will be more than enough.
Sorry, I think, is it me? Luigi got...
No, I can hear you. I think Luigi disappeared.
Okay, yeah. I was like, wait.
I didn't know if I was frozen or she was frozen, but I was just waiting.
I was like, probably it's me. Yeah, no, let's just wait until her connections comes back. But in the meantime, while you talk about this eco-anxiety and all these mental traumas that, I don't know, like we all faced, I feel like how, besides talking about it and maybe going to a pharmacist and getting medical assistance for those kind of things, like how are some proactive ways we can move forward without like medicine, let's say? Would you say what are like some recommendations for people hearing?
With echo and anxiety, it's so difficult to try and tell you to feel better. Like, just, it's fine. Everyone's going through it. No, it's not. But I feel like the very first thing that helps anyone understand that they're not like, that's not all in their head, is that they realize that there's other people going through it, and knowing that you're not alone. Having a community of people that feel the same way, and try to, like, I feel like when you have a community of people, you can find not a solution, but a way to like deal with it, like a coping mechanism. And like, even as a pharmacist, we don't always like, sometimes we don't like the fact that there's so many people taking medications out there. Like, Medications are like meant for like things that they're needed, but just because and anxiety shouldn't just need medication. You need someone to talk to, and you need someone to talk to that like actually listens. And I think that's the most important thing.
That's true. Thank you.
Thank you. So I do have the other questions. So how do you use your social media to share your mental health info? Taking in account that social media is part of the problem, how do we frame it as part of the solution?
That's a really good question.
I think someone is asking, how do we use social media when social media is part somehow and sometimes the source of all this anxiety that we feel?
Yeah, no, I think, you're so right. Social media is it's like a double-edged sword. It can be good when you use it for like your certain needs, but it can be horrible when you're just surrounded by things that you don't want to be surrounded by. And that's the part of social media that is customizable. If you're surrounding yourself with like the platforms or influencers or whoever you're keeping up with, and all they say is negative things, all they say is like the planet's gonna burn down tomorrow, and you're just gonna get over anxious about it. But when you do surround it, or you do set up your profile to follow certain people that talk about the good, the bad, the truth, rather than just people that criticize, that's what they would shift your perspective a little bit. And social media can be used in so many different ways that can be bad, but I think like in this day and age you have to use it. Even if you don't post things yourself, to stay up to date you really need it. But it's up to the person, that it's up to you to decide how you want to use it in a way that doesn't deteriorate your mental health, if that makes any sense.
I think that's a really like positive way to look on like social media and to, just to frame it. So thank you so much for that answer, Edith. We have another question, which is how many people have you reached maximum, and what about your first time? So I think what this person's trying to ask is how many people have you managed to reach on social media, and like what about the first time that you ever posted something?
Oh, I mean, on my personal social media, I don't really post
I
about.
think that's what they're asking.
I mean, I hope, because that's what I'm answering. But
Yeah.
my content on social media is not really related to climate change. It's just random videos, and I've had a couple of my videos reach over 1 million people, but they're not related to mental health. It's just like having fun with it. But if on Instagram, I'm more centered towards like climate change a lot more. I think one of my videos got like 10,000 views or anything, but that's because I'm not really using it for such a thing.
Okay then. So yeah, thank you so much, Edith. Like that was really, really, really amazing. And we're so happy to have you on the session. So thank you for that. And
Thank you, Gigi.
Okay. Bye.
Oh, thank you, Luigi. And thank you, Ala. I just feel like, with these two last speakers, it's more like calm and more like...
It's a lot more calm.
Yeah.
Like kind of showing us how to show the passion, but not in a way that like exhausts us.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, it's like a sustainable way to keep your passion.
Right. And I'm so happy that we can share that and be honest about it and encourage others to be honest as well. So
yeah. Okay, so now we have Gennaro.
Yeah, thank you, Luigi. That was amazing also from Ada. Something wise to do at the end of every achievement is to stop and reflect and also use this time to recognize what we are doing and taking a moment to consider what we have learned and what can we provide as valuable insights. So what if we do that now? And actually today we will introduce the GYC media team, and we will have with us Bianca Malford from Chile and Irene Del Panti. Both of them are GYC active members, and rather than I present them, I would love that they present themselves. So welcome to our new speakers.
Question. Who exactly has 2 years to save the world? The answer is...
Hello.
Yay, we have the whole team here.
Hi, Irene. Hi,
Yay,
Bianca.
we are all here.
Hey Tim,
I'm very
what
good.
if you do your screen so we are all
the horizontal.
Horizontal.
But you have to change the setting on your phone to, yeah.
I think I can have the same problem with Irene.
I think that works.
Okay. No, it's okay. I was just my perfectionism. How are you doing, Tim? So I believe the floor is all yours. I would like to hear what's going on in the GYC social media. What have we learned so far during these 7 sessions, and what is coming also, Irene, Bianca, Hannah?
I feel Bianca should respond this.
I think internet just went off, but we can repeat the question. What's going on behind the scenes? Hi, Gennaro.
Hi, Jen. Hi, Gennaro. Stressing out because, I mean, in a good way, but I am in Bonn, and I'm looking for a messenger to bring our cameras that people want through this program to Brazil and Egypt and Ukraine. So I'm literally in the camp asking people, where are you from? Do you know someone?
Yeah.
And I think it worked out. And one thing I learned from all these experiences is that be natural, and be yourself. It's the best. It just helps. We shouldn't put up an image just because we are on social media. We should really just, be ourselves.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What about you, Bianca? How's everything going on? Because you're like the superstar managing the GYC account, the Refresting for Peace. You're managing the messages on YouTube. You're just doing like so much behind the scenes. So tell us how is everything?
Thank you, Luigi, for the question. And this is Bianca Malfa from Bolivia. Happy to be here. And I am behind the magic of our social media. I feel the content creation plays a crucial role in addressing the climate emergency. So using our accounts, not just for presenting our programs, but also to make a change, to share valuable information. We can highlight the urgency of the situation, showcase innovative solutions, demonstrate the impact of collective action. So I am really happy to have this opportunity to create content for Global Youth Coalition. That it's an amazing organization where we can create magic for youth. We can get opportunities. We can learn too much. So behind the scenes, I have a lot of work doing the post, doing all the content, but I'm really happy because now we are close to 4,000. We are close. So I hope we still growing up on our social media, and that's by my side.
And while Augustin isn't here for a while, we are mainly a woman-dominated team. So let's just take a moment to appreciate that for a second. And I actually have something that I want to ask each one of you, and I'm also going to answer this question. what is the thing that you like the most about content creation, and what's something that you don't like? Because we tend to like the good things and everything, but what do we not like about content creation, and how can we maybe overcome the, you know, the tension between the thing that we don't like? Hannah, you go first.
Thank you.
Didn't give you any time to think. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like nowadays we have to be careful for, you know, what we share, because as Ala was mentioning, it is super simple to nowadays post anything that we want into social media. But I feel like being intentional with what we post and being truthful, being honest, ultimately our voice is precious and it's valuable, and it's amazing that we can speak up and share our perspectives. But I hope like we can always maintain this peace and this respect towards everyone, just knowing that what we share, it has a meaning and it has a influence in others. So just like be aware that when we are texting someone else, we are talking to a person, and it's not just a platform, but it's an individual. So just being intentional with that and being truthful. How about you?
I was gonna say what about you, Gennaro, because Gennaro's here, but now Augustin's back, so I'm gonna give him the floor.
I am just reading the messages. Do we have a time for Jen? Or because Jen, the idea is that we were just planning to share a bit of how was the process for us working, because it was a bit different not having Oxford Net Zero backup, you know. So at the very beginning, if you see us, like right now everything looks so smoothly, but the first 1, 2, third session, everyone was running. And so, Jen, can we do this and then we go with you? Or do you want to go now? You have a meeting or something to attend. Let us know.
Oh, I'm happy to be here with all the team again. Hello, Global Youth Coalition. Yeah, I think it's been a tremendous growth, like internal growth in our teams since we started last year doing capacity building sessions, and now seeing how this program that was first pitched by Agustin like a long time ago, now it's like finally under completion, and seeing all those amazing speakers and stories on the ground that are inspiring people. And coming a little bit to the comment that Ala was mentioning about climate anxiety, I think I went through that a lot when I was starting engaging with climate change challenges in social media, and seeing all that information that just spread fear on me, and led me to search for more things to do, and to get engaged more. And now that I have so many friends, so many community part of this global effort, I get more inspired, and it kind of like contrasts that feeling from being overwhelmed to being inspired by all our friends that are doing things every day on social media. And oh my God, if I started following international events, you'll find out that there's so much things going on all the time, and it keeps going. So we're really helpful for all our friends to keep us updating and strategizing, and how do we communicate to the rest of the society and to our decision makers. So thank you for existing.
We love that.
Irene is holding the phone with one hand, so she can't do both.
I just realized, I was like, how do I do this?
You can try that. You can try this.
I can
This
do
is
it
the
with you.
trendy one.
Yeah.
Nice,
I think I can do it with Hannah. Wait.
Yeah. But Irene, I am really curious. Can you share with
There you
us
go.
how was the thing with the cameras we were sharing? We also produced this event at Bond with Omar and Hers. Can you share about this, Irene? How the process of reforesting for peace improved your knowledge that we end up having a streaming session inside United Nations?
Yeah, so yeah, I guess nobody saw it coming that we would have had. I mean, maybe in our wildest dreams we were hoping of that, but how did it happen? Well, I guess the power, I think, of us is that we are also really situated, in what is happening. Like as Jen said, there is loads of, once you enter some channels, you have the opportunity to really understand what's going on from other point of views. But of course, we are also subject to things outside our echo chamber. So when we finally decided to contact someone from Gaza, I guess then the universe was in our side and allow us to connect with these amazing two souls, because they've really been super collaborative. And personally, like, speaking of leadership, like, it is there's definitely been a growth on how I cooperate with people, how I I ask, just coming, like, knowing that the vision that I have in mind, because for those who are listening, like I have been working in the film industry for a while before this, but also trusting and learning from others. It's really been like a rendezvous, which has been amazing, which kind of kept going on Tuesday, and that we found all of you. I know like that it's me that brought it in, but we found Luigi, we found Agustin. It really wouldn't have worked out. So what really taught me Tuesday was
without you, Irene, because you've just been doing so much.
Yeah, but I think we all, like when you see someone else working, it always seems like a lot, but everyone, I think, in this group put their soul.
People, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And we are at different stages of our life, and we all have our personal stories. But I'm really happy on the point we have reached.
Can you come on for a second?
Yeah.
What?
Chris?
Yeah, shout out to Chris too. Without his help and creative agency. And it was so magical for all of us to meet at COP27 and kind of like started this journey together. But Chris has always remained under the scene. So I don't know if he's gonna show himself, but we're happy that you're here and happy for all the support that you have given us and for existing as well.
Yeah, definitely. We all started as a dream, even like Chris' business, and now he is also in Dubai.
Chris is coming on now.
The echo that he's always having. Let's hope there's no echo. Ta 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 ta. Who is gone? Creative is coming. Okay, let's wait for Chris, and then we go with Gennaro, because the youngsters need to keep learning. But thank you so much, dear team. I just want to mention that this is the last session, because I have all my heart and my mind thinking that we will get more funding and more support. There's Chris. How are you doing?
Not about this, or do we just accept the fact that?
So how has it been these opportunities, this experience for you, Chris?
Yeah, this has been such an amazing experience. I really appreciate your bringing me in on this. Actually, it's been a pretty challenging one. Using crazy amounts of technology and connecting it all together has been a challenge, but it's been a good challenge. One that I hope we can do again. One that we can replicate again and continue helping spread the word, spread the message.
Bravo.
Yes.
Thank you.
And lastly, before we go to Gennaro, let's thank some more people, because they've also been helping behind the scenes, and that is eco-interpreters, because the interpreters and the translators have been working really, really hard for us behind the scenes, and they've been handling and micromanaging a lot. So thank you to all of the amazing interpreters. And yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you, Bianca. Thank you, Irene, for coming us here. There you go, Irene, with the camera. Of course.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for watching that. we are maintaining our promise, and I'm here sending cameras in from Bonn to all over the world. So hopefully in a month or two, we will see work that is coming out of these microphones and cameras for the next steps of the journey. Thank
Hopefully,
you.
yes. And a movie too.
Keep dreaming. Bye.
Yeah. Okay, so I think Hannah and Augustine should come on now.
The answer is every person on this planet.
Hello again, beautiful youngsters of this planet. Thank you for being here, and thank you for defending nature, our Mother Earth, Pachamama, in your territories, and communicating what is the most valuable thing for you, which is living in this planet. And we're hopefully gonna keep fighting for intergenerational equity, so we continue to live on and prosper in the future. And this presentation is exactly about looking at what has been done so far in the efforts in the international community on the Paris Agreement and the United Nations framework on climate change, and with a special process, which some of you might know from our sessions from last year, the global Stocktake, which I'm gonna go forward. And by the way, if you ever have any questions or you want to get in touch, feel free to write me an email or contact me on Instagram or social media. I left my details there. And yeah, so we're gonna talk about what is the global Stocktake, what is the process, what do we take away from COP28, what is the relationship with food, what is happening right now at the ESPYs, what is the relationship for nature, and we're gonna do a little bit of a call to action for the next conference. Oh my God, so many conferences, but it's happening just after ESPYs for the G7. So as I was saying, the global Stocktake is this collective assessment of how are we responding to the challenge of climate change and the achievement of the Paris Agreement and its long-term goals. This means that after the first round of introducing what it's called the National Determined Contributions reports, with which every country that is rectified by the Paris Agreement has to elaborate in their own national jurisdiction. So with their local governments and with NGOs and private sector and everyone, essentially, they have to put in this paper what pledges, what promises, and are they gonna have regarding how we mitigate and how do we adapt to climate change, and how is this going to be financed. So it's a very important document that this process reviews. So it takes like stock on how much everyone is doing, every country, and then it helps us be in the stage that we are now, where we are assessing how do we continue and how do this decision text of this assessment feeds to the next generation of the national determined contributions. So very important that there are specific processes and mandates from this technical assessment that needs to review all the different efforts on adaptation. How is it effective? What's the progress as well on the global goal and adaptation? That was also a very big decisions last COP. And how do we implement the Paris Agreement? And this process follows a 5-year cycle. So this will be repeated. It's not gonna be the first time that all countries come together in a big room and talk about how they're progressing and addressing the inaction and the fact that we are not aligned, or we are not on the pathway to achieving 1.5 yet. And the window of opportunity that is closing very fastly. So another topic that I did mention, but just to repeat it, the thematic areas generally go through mitigation, adaptation, means of implementation. So everything that is needed, finance, capacity building from countries, and technology transfer. And now considering the new evolving needs of countries, also loss and damage is quite there on the stage with the decision last year on the loss and damage fund. So the next GST cycle will most likely report how are we progressing as well with this important topic. And everything must also be conducted in the light of equity and best available sciences. So following all intergovernmental processes happening in the IPCC. The outputs of these documents were communicated.
The slides, I'm not sure you are changing the slides. I still can see a short intro to global Stocktake.
Oh no, that's super sad.
Sorry, I wasn't sure jumping in before. Sorry so much. Ciao.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I show a couple of slides. Just gonna go quick. If you want to pause the video then and go back to the slides. But like I said, it was a 5-year process. There's a specific mandate. And the final output, which I'm talking now, is how it's communicated. It consisted in various high-level events to present those findings and discuss in dialogues. And we saw a lot of different huddles and a lot of different like forums to discuss and consider the implications. And this is continuing now during the SPs. And should identify what opportunities and challenges are there to enhance that action and collective support to continue our progress, and identify possible measures and good practices related to international cooperation. So yeah, there are specific articles in the Paris Agreement that linked this process all together. And like I said, in Article 6 and for mitigation, the NDCs, the national determined contribution, must be informed of the outcomes of GST. And this is going to happen right now, colleagues, because the mandate for countries to update their NDC 3.0 will be received until February of next year. So we have less than a year to make sure that our governments, our policymakers, know what are our positions and demand essentially accountability on that we supposed to be participating in these processes. So if you don't know anything about it and your government hasn't communicated about it, it's time to send emails, make phone calls, just make that advocacy efforts into actions. And yeah, well, I'll be more quick because I have only 8 minutes, but it's supposed to be more an understanding of what gaps are there, and so in order to feed this process and guide the NDCs and assess also that we don't need gradual change. We need to address transformation, systemic transformation, to make sure that the amount of ambition is there to shift the pathways towards meeting the temperature goals, so 1.5 degrees, and inform how are we going to do this also in terms of what finance is needed, what support can be given, and what type of investments are we talking about. So it's very linked to development as well. And now to go to the outcomes of the COP28. It was very impressive because it was the first time that in a COP document there's a specific urge to nations to shift away from fossil fuels. You will say, "Oh my God, this is like the most clear and like message that you can give when we're talking about climate change, of course, the number one source of emissions is fossil fuels. Yet, it's a very delicate process for countries to make such commitments, because in one relationship we are a little bit of kind of like either addicted our economies or dependent on fossil fuels for poverty reduction, for development, and especially for developing countries, this is also a very difficult thing to do. So it's very important that this ambition meets with the enough support, so this can be given without undermining other sustainable development goals. But the language specifically is talking about phasing down unabated coal power, which is one of the, like, let's say the most accessible ways of making a real change is to stop financing coal and transition away from fossil fuels in energy systems in a just, orderly, and equitable manner. So net zero can be achieved in 2050. So the phasing out of fossil fuels is more severe language, but it's not there yet 100%. It's there on unabated. So all the emissions that are not being reduced from these highly emitting sectors, but it's still progress in the terms of language. And as we move to next COP, on COP29, and essentially address the financial gaps and the financial needs from countries, then we're going to be arriving at COP30 in Belém in Brazil, where the science will meet the international multilateral agreements, where the IPCC says that we need to reach peak emissions and reduce 43% by 2030. So we're going to be, all eyes will be there at the next multilateral agreements of climate change meetings. Regarding food systems, this was a very happy for people from the food world, because the GST recognized the priority of safeguarding food security and ending hunger in the particular vulnerabilities of food production systems and to adverse impacts of climate change. And in paragraph 63, about increasing ambition and enhancing adaptation and action to accelerate swift scale at all levels, from local to global, in alignment to global networks. So we're seeing there, and since we talk about nature a lot here, that there is a relationship between adaptation, food, and nature. And this is where I guess when we start talking about nature-based solutions, is that when we're talking about nature-based solutions, we're talking about understanding what the ecosystem is providing us. So all those services and all those relationships that lie between nature, systemic view that needs to be fully understood and put in there all together at the same time that we depend on nature, specifically also for our food systems, and that is vital for us to live. So attaining climate resilient food and agriculture production and supply and distribution of food, as well as increasing sustainable and regenerative production and equitable access to adequate food and nutrition for all. This statement is very powerful to then incentivize that, and the fact that we need to see change in how our food is produced in a way that it won't be affected by climate change, and it will be reduce emissions, while ensuring that everyone can have sovereignty on what they want to eat and to have a healthy diet. So then these discussions that are happening are gonna be structured in a decision that is going to be held at COP29 and continued at COP30 about how NDCs are going to receive these outcomes. And all the things that I mentioned are going to be structured in that document that will be released. At least a draft will be released soon, because today is one of those sessions. But like I said, the most important is then that this outcome will influence new and updated NDCs. following. So this is what I've been talking about yesterday and today in Bonn. There was an annual dialogue. So countries will facilitate sharing what they have learned, those good practices on how they're using the global stocktake to inform their next round of NDCs. Like I said, it will happen next year. So from now to next year. And how this, how procedural and logistic elements are going to be changed for the next cycle. And this will be a decision that will be done at Baku. And for that, we already have a draft decision that is being prepared by the secretariats. And yeah, so like I said on the NDCs, what needs to be there, and that's where you need to go to your government and really like advocate for this, is that the NDCs need to include that are pathways towards 1.5 degrees increase in temperature, the transition away from fossil fuels. And if you can ask them as well, is X country, our country, already thinking of signing the fossil fuel treaty, which is a good instrument as well to start thinking about how we're transitioning away from fossil fuels. And well, the agreement that almost all countries signed on the UAE agreement of tripling renewable energy and duplicating energy efficiency by 2030. Halting and reversing deforestation and forest degradation is very important, and their local communities have a very significant role, and indigenous peoples and their knowledge and the way that they manage the ecosystems is and contributing to climate resilience and regenerative food systems. Sorry, is anyone talking to me?
Yeah, me, Lucy. So I'm just saying that like you're doing great, but we need to wrap up because we actually have a lot of questions from the audience for you.
Yeah. Just
so yeah,
slides and I'm finished.
Okay.
This is very important since I was brought here to also talk about nature. Is that it's important that that we recognize that the GST is very linked to the the coming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework as well, as it repeats and reaffirms that the vital importance of protecting and conserving and restoring sustainable using nature and ecosystems for effective sustainable climate action. So one of the key asks relating to this, and specifically now that on June 13th, leaders from the G7. So if you're a communicator using Instagram or any other social media, this is one of the key messages you can bring out to G7 leaders that are going to be meeting, especially if you're coming from the developed countries, is that they have to reaffirm their commitment on Target 19A under the CBD biodiversity framework, to mobilize 20 billion in public nature finance per year by 2025, and at least 30 billion per year in 2030, in a way that is consistent to the global stocktake, and should acknowledge that indigenous peoples and local communities, as they help to conserve 80% of the world's terrestrial biodiversity, only receive less than 1% funding. And that's important that if we want to make clear that we're going to put there the support to save our planetary boundaries, then we need to be consistent about this. So thank you very much, and now very open to the questions now. So I'm gonna
thank you, Gennaro, because you always you translate the UN language into a way that we can understand. So that's the thing that we really, really love. So the first question is, what do you think the next GST will be like?
Oh my God. Okay. I've been even having dreams about this because and this would be a really interesting idea for a movie. Take or a documentary. You can take it if you want, anyone out there. But imagine now that we're gonna have COP30 in Brazil, right? and the science saying there that we need to reach peak emissions. So we're gonna know. I don't want to use bad words, but we're gonna know if like countries' efforts is real or not. Like, are we really gonna save us, or are we gonna be having to prepare the most we can for being resilient for those effects? That will be terrible. So it's like, imagine that after realizing all of these, like coming from the jungles and the indigenous communities and the front lines people that are fighting against those fossil fuel projects, like all that path of like coming from the decision on Brazil after updated NDCs and the next global Stocktake, well, the world already will be seeing all those effects. Like, it will be super clear for everyone, and like
there's not going to be a way to avoid it anymore.
Yeah, and it's gonna be there present in our financial systems, in our jobs, in our healthcare. Like, everything will be there affected, as we are predicting now with using science. So it's like the next like group of people that will be get together will be like enormous, and that could be a perfect scene for a movie.
Okay. Someone else is asking, how do we demand accountability from our governments regarding the NDCs? So what would you suggest to someone who's trying to get to hold their governments accountable?
Yeah, it's very important that this that the NDCs then turned into actual plans, because they're determining what are their promises, what their pledges are, where do they see they make the most support. But then those NDCs needs to be turned into actual like investments, actual plans that consider local governments, that consider local communities, and as a way of catalyzing support. And that also, like, it's not just accountability for our governments, but also our governments pushing the private sector to make sure that they also contribute with those promises, and the legal framework in our country actually is there to make sure that we are obligated from all sectors of society to make these changes. So I guess that's one little comment I can mention.
I think they'll definitely incorporate what you said into like what they talk to their governments about. Someone's asking, where's your climate penguin? Love that climate couple.
Where's that penguin? What? I don't remember what thing you're talking about, but thank you for the question. Penguins are supposed. Well, we do have penguins here in Chile. They're in the beach. I'm currently in the city, so probably enjoying their natural ecosystem as they should.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is, where do you find the energy to manage all of your plans and projects?
Well, it's very hard, but I would say that I'm happy because we have such amazing, like, very big number of teams of different people that are out there and giving us hope every day, because it's like so unbearable sometimes having to do this at the same time as doing university, doing classes, doing other like life responsibilities. But so counting on your people and constantly communicating to know who can support you and how can you support others is like the best advice for resilience. Just
having a strong support system within the community.
Exactly, that's everything. That's key.
Yeah. Okay. YOUNGO or GYC?
Well, YOUNGO is the youth and children and youth NGOs. So you have to it's not a rule in YOUNGO, but you have to have an NGO to support YOUNGO at the end. This is what number of NGOs are there, and especially and it's best if your NGO is accredited to the UNFCCC. We are in the process, so we're not yet accredited, but we're soon gonna be there. And
we're in the process, yeah.
Our organizations, we support YOUNGO, which is not an organization, is all of youth organizations that are there wanted to have a voice in the UNFCCC.
And we support each other. We work together, and there's no rivalry.
That's a really good question. Both, of course. There's no one without the other.
The last one, I think this person was hungry, but they're asking what foods could we lose due to climate change?
Okay, I'm not an expert, but I would say that definitely like meat has the most impact. I have a personal thing about the meat industry sector, because I think it's like very, very hard and very harsh with animals. I think they're not treated correctly. I've been talking with a lot of indigenous communities and local communities that depend also on agriculture and their animals to also live. I understand that you can live with them and have a healthy and sustainable relationship with your ecosystem, but when you turn that into a machine industry that just is set to kill and to pollute for profits, that's where I think we can make the most change.
I think if we had like a regenerative farming approach to it, it would be a lot better, instead of just like, it's like a business. It's not, they don't really think about the connections between the land and
nature has to have nature and profit needs to be connected. If we don't do that, then our businesses will just lead us to the climate breakdown, and that's what we're seeing now. They're not aligned. So hopefully next COP, we're gonna have a decision on that too, on Article 2 on Wednesday.
That's such a wonderful way to end the Reforesting for Peace program, that we should connect nature with profit. And with that, I think like sadly, but also happily, I'm gonna say that this is the end of the first edition of the Reforesting for Peace program. And
it will not be the last one, so we're always going to keep preparing our next capacity building session, which hopefully we're going to launch in the next months. So I'm not going to give any spoilers now, but we are welcome to keep engaging with our networks and keeping in touch for more opportunities.
But maybe we should invite them not to fill the forms. There's no any form right now, but be aware that we will be launching in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, or months. Like I'd say a month. Yeah.
On the road to COP29, Azerbaijan, the Global Youth Coalition will be working and pushing also the favorite plant, the plant avocado.
Yeah. So keep in tune with your emails, because you're going to be receiving like a lot about what we're doing, where we are, and how you can like contribute to the efforts that we're currently doing.
Luigi, the most important email, you should explain them about the registration forms.
Okay, so everyone's been asking a lot about the attendance, and we're actually going to do something nice, because we figured out that there was a problem with the attendance forms. Not all of you were getting like registered even after you'd used the form, and some of you, like, the form wasn't even working. So we're actually going to do something else. We're going to have a different method for registering the attendance, and we're going to send you that method on the email by next week. So if you haven't attended a certain session or something, you can still watch the recording so that you can get your certificate. And yeah, I think we've gone over time. So thank you so much to everyone. Thank you to Augustin. Thank you to Irene. Thank you to the interpreters. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you to our wonderful speakers, all of our partners.
I'm so sure we will continue doing this, that I'm not feeling that goodbye, like a goodbye. So thank you so much, everyone. We will be sending the email with all the registration forms, because we will do a Reforesting for Peace marathon, so you can watch all the sessions, fill the forms, and get the certificate. This is the Global Youth Coalition and Reforesting for Peace. Ciao.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Wait. Where is the video? Now. Oh no. I really lost. Is this one?
So when I say we have 2 years to save the world, it begs the question, who exactly has 2 years to save the world? The answer So when I say we have 2 years to save the world, it begs the question, who exactly has 2 years to save the world? The answer is every person on this planet. We still have a chance to make greenhouse gas emissions tumble. Generation of national climate plans, but we need these stronger plans now.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm. She keeps me warm.
My heart doesn't see race. Love has no age limit.
That's my best friend.
We are neighbors and best friends.
We all have different religions, but we have universal love as well.
I love my sister.
Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.